Hi and welcome to my channel Reddit Wing Commander. My name is Charles and I am bringing to you some stories from Reddit. But before we get into these videos, it would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to the channel, dropped a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below. Doing this will really help me in the future of the channel.
First story. A wild Karen got arrested with a felony. Background: I'm a 35-year-old father of 2 boys. I have PTSD due to time overseas and have the physical scars to match the mental scars. I have an incredible wife that knows me and knows what situations I should avoid. My children are amazing, but this story revolves around my youngest son and my service dog. Jay, my youngest son, has autism and we share a special bond because some things that set him off also put my teeth on edge. Spike, my English bulldog, he's my service dog. He's well trained, lazy, judgmental and overall uninterested in anything he can't eat. He's also very in tune to Jay and my emotions and will provide a distraction when we get overwhelmed. Basically he's like, "Oh, you're stressed? Here, scratch my butt. You'll feel better and I'll get attention." It's a win-win. The story: my family recently moved to Texas. Because we now live very close to an amusement park, we got memberships. Shout out to the park for being amazing when it comes to special needs. This particular park in Arlington, Texas has a special program for autistic people. They have rooms set aside to chill at if you're overstimulated, so you can relax, go back out, get overstimulated again, and round you go. With Jay, we also don't have to wait in lines. This is a huge thing and the cause of this story. The park has a pass that lets you skip most of the lines and they charge an arm and a leg for this. However, with that pass you still end up in a line of the hundreds of people that also have that pass. Jay gets no lines at all. We get a special pass and we go in through the exit. The worker signs the pass and we go on the ride. Jay has a favorite ride, the log ride. There has been days that we would ride the log ride over and over, then eat. We also have the food pass which we pay for, then go back to the log ride. On this day T, my oldest, and Jay wanted to go on the log ride. So we made our way to the exit and left wife and Spike in the shade because someone has to stay with him and bulldogs plus rides don't mix. As we were going in the exit, a woman started screaming at us. I have absolutely no hearing on my right side, thanks high pressure wave, so didn't consider it worth turning my head to listen. Now because we ride this ride almost exclusively, the workers on this ride know us by name and sight. Jay even talks to them, which is rare. We go in, show the pass, sit and ride. This time though, Tabitha, I'll call her Tabitha because Karen is overused, the woman that was screaming at us as we were walking in through the out, made her way to where the speedy pass ends at the ride, where a red shirt will check her pass and let her go on her way. She didn't even want to ride, she just wanted to yell about us going in through the exit and how we are abusing the system. Now anyone that looks at Jay can see he's in a world all his own and wouldn't be surprised if he's literally reading the future or talking to aliens. He's awesome. The red shirt tries to calm her down. T is getting upset because he's a normal 9-year-old and adults yelling is uncool. Jay, making his excited sounds and waiting for the log to stop so he can get in. We get in and as we float away we still hear Tabitha screaming. The ride ends and we exit. We figured we would never see Tabitha again, but obviously as I'm point this it didn't go that way. Tabitha appeared like a dark brother after making the sacrifice, Elder Scrolls reference. Hooting and screaming. She is screaming that just because Jay is an R-word doesn't mean we get extra rights. The screaming causes Jay to let out his super screech. Now anyone that knows autism knows that autistic kids have superpowers. In Jay's case it's a supersonic ear-shattering high-pitched screech that makes your eyes swim and makes it feel like things in your head are moving that shouldn't. This whole time Spike was laying on the ground in the froggy position as bulldogs do, just looking at Tabitha like she's a rabid dog but not worth getting up for. As we are being screamed at, I see 2 officers approaching from behind Tabitha. I smile. My smile must have broke Tabitha because the hauls off and kicks Spike. This flips my switch because now my family is literally under attack and I start to react. Before I could make contact, Tabitha is already in the air being held, carried, half dragged away while being cuffed. Now in front of me is a well-dressed and pissed-looking officer. He tells us he heard the screech and started heading to it because they thought a ride broke or something bad happened. I take the time to unflip that switch and examine Spike. He's limping and crying. I feel his hips and feel that his hip is dislocated. I jokingly ask the officer to walk away and let me get some. He of course has no humor to this but also can tell I had a career. He asked what happened and we all explain what happened from A to Z. He asks if Spike is a service dog. I say yes. He smiles. I'm not in a smile mood but it catches me off guard. He explains that in Texas to intentionally injure a service dog is a felony. By this time park security arrived and issued a trespass order to Tabitha. The officers ask if I want to press charges. I look at Spike and look back, yes. I say Tabitha and her tiny mouse-like husband start to freak out as Tabitha is loaded onto a golf cart. We hop on a cart too and leave to go to the vet. The vet fixed Spike and all is well. We went back the next day with Spike in a stroller. No one batted an eye and everyone loves the bulldog in a stroller. I let people pet him, he's a hoot and the park is an amazing place. I've been contacted by the investigating officer and have given depositions. I may have to testify but I look forward to sitting on the bench with Spike on my lap. Second story. Entitled Mother Thinks She Owns My House. Characters. M. Entitled Mother EK. Entitled Mother's Kid Op. Me GF. My girlfriend. Background. I live in a rather quiet apartment building, but as soon as this crazy bitch moved here, I knew that my situation was going to go tits up. I always try my best to be kind to my neighbors and it wasn't any different for M. I enjoy having small get-togethers in my apartment with a couple of my neighbors, so when M and her annoying as hell kid moved into the building, I decided to invite them to a weekly Friday adults-only game night. Don't judge, this was all pre-COVID. The party was set to begin at 7 o'clock, but M came a good hour late. Our parties are adults only because we have lots of alcoholic beverages and some weed set out. M decides to ignore the clear as day rule that kids aren't allowed and she decides to bring her little s***thed to my house. As soon as I see the kid, I tell her no kids allowed, but then she goes and says, it's okay. He has my permission. I sigh and ask her to come back in 10 minutes. Now me and the neighbors have to clear all of the weed and alcohol and pack them in the cupboards. She and her piece of s***t come back in 30 minutes and immediately start eating all of my food. I'm a really non-confrontational person, so telling them to stop was a big no-no. This isn't even the real story yet. It's just some background to explain the s***t show that is about to happen. The story. COVID happened. GF was staying at my place during COVID because her parents both have pre-existing conditions. We went through the whole process: quarantine, testing, and eventual moving. So one day, I was out of the house getting groceries when GF called me crying and saying she didn't feel safe in our apartment. Apparently my girlfriend was taking a shower when she heard someone moaning. She thought it was me, and she opened the curtain to see EK, that little f***cur, beating his meat and standing outside the open bathroom door. She screamed, slapped him, and kicked him out. Hearing this, I immediately rushed home to comfort her, having absolutely no clue how that little bastard got into my home. As soon as I get home, I see him standing outside my apartment banging on the door, maskless. I tap her on the shoulder and start to explain to her that she really needs to control her kid. I tried to be as nice as possible even though I was seething with anger. I tried to tell her that I understand his body is going through changes and that he has urges, but breaking into people's houses and doing s***t like this wasn't okay at all. Before I can finish, M goes off at me. She starts screaming that her son didn't break into anyone's house and that GF had no right to hit him. She said she was going to call the cops and tell them that we assaulted that little s***t. Even though at this point, I'm literally about to slap her, I try my best to remain calm and ask her how her mistake of a son got into my house. The entitled mother starts screaming at me, and in her anger she lets it slip that during my neighborly meeting, in the background section, she took one of my apartment's keys. My brain just shuts off. GF comes out hearing the commotion and apparently heard that M stole my keys. GF goes off. She says she is calling the cops for stealing, breaking and entering, and invasion of privacy. At this point, my brain is still processing what M just said. M screams back that in her rental agreement, she was given access to all the amenities of the apartment and she somehow believed that my house belonged to them too. Keep in mind, I own my apartment. GF and I kept strong on her promise and called the cops right then and there. M got arrested, but I don't know what happened from there. All I know is that I changed my locks, got only 2 new house keys, gave one to GF and kept in, and bought one of those camera doorbell things. Edit. Wow guys. Thanks for the huge response. I got a lot of questions asking how old EK is. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he looked to be about 15 or 16. Edit 2. Holy moly. When I just posted this, I tried to respond to everyone's comments, but now that's getting kind of difficult. I'm going to try to make some broad statements and hope it answers your questions. My girlfriend and I are feeling much better. I showed her the post and we went over a couple of the responses together. I have no clue what's wrong with the kid. He might be a little mentally unstable, but other than that I have no clue why he acted like he did. Also, I want to take a moment to thank you guys for all the updates, the Wholesome Award, the Silver Awards, and the Hugs Awards. Thank you guys for all of the help you offered, and I hope I answered some of your questions. Thanks for being so kind. This is my first time making a single post, so I was kind of worried I was going to get trashed on for not handling the situation properly or something, but you guys have been nothing but kind.